Why do we need a lunar space station for Artemis, which we call the Lunar Gateway? That's the question that we're going to answer in today's video. As NASA moves forward with the Artemis program, and with the Artemis 1 launch scheduled for later this year, it's a good time to do an update on the status of the Lunar Gateway program. The Gateway is going to be a small human-occupied space station that's going to orbit the moon in a special orbit. The orbit is referred to as a Near-Rectolinear Halo Orbit and will provide the Gateway with a continuous line of sight to Earth. The image on your screen details the Gateway's unique orbit. The orbit allows for unobstructed communications between Gateway's crew and ground stations on Earth at all times. Therefore, Houston Mission Control will not lose communications with the Artemis astronauts as it did during the Apollo missions when their spacecraft went behind the moon. NASA's current goal is to land a man and a woman on the lunar surface by 2025 with the Artemis 3 mission. The first phase of the Lunar Gateway will consist of two critically important elements: the Power and Propulsion Element, PPE, and the Habitation and Logistics Outpost, HALO, H-A-L-O. The Power and Propulsion Element is a high-powered spacecraft that will provide power, high-rate communications, attitude control, and orbit transfer capabilities for the Lunar Gateway. Maxar Technologies, located in Westminster, Colorado, has been selected by NASA to design, develop, and build the PPE. The Habitation and Logistics Outpost Element, the HALO, is where the astronauts will live and conduct research while visiting the Gateway. The HALO will include docking ports, which will allow a variety of visiting spacecraft to explore and conduct research projects in deep space. The HALO will be a critical platform for developing technology and capabilities to support moon and man exploration in the coming years. Northrop Grumman of Dulles, Virginia, has been awarded the contract for the design and development of the HALO. NASA plans to launch the PPE and HALO together during a single launch of a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. Here's a short video clip tour of the HALO element with a retired astronaut now working for Grumman.
I'm Rick Mastracchio, former NASA astronaut who flew on 3 space shuttle missions and a Soyuz mission, totaling 228 days of living and working on the International Space Station. Now, I use that experience working for Northrop Grumman, where we are building the Habitation and Logistics Outpost, known as the HALO module. It forms the first part of NASA's Gateway. Gateway will be placed in lunar orbit to provide short-term habitation and a place for the astronauts to prepare for their mission to the lunar surface or even to Mars. On a typical lunar mission, the crew arrives from Earth, docks their Orion spacecraft to the HALO module. The crew spends a few days preparing for their mission to the moon. Once ready, they use the human landing system or the lunar lander to head down to the surface. They may spend as little as a week or many months on the surface. Upon completion of the surface mission, the crew returns to the Gateway and prepares for their journey back to Earth. The Gateway and HALO provide astronauts a safe environment to live and work in lunar orbit. The HALO module has volume for the crew to sleep, exercise, prepare food, perform scientific experiments, and much more. HALO is just one of the many components of Artemis that Northrop Grumman is working on. We are developing vehicle concepts and studying cargo delivery to the Gateway and to the lunar surface. And we are studying human landing systems and even lunar rovers to greatly improve the exploration of the surface of the moon. Northrop Grumman is proud to be part of the Artemis team, and I am proud to be part of Northrop Grumman, providing capabilities for astronauts to live and work in space as we prepare to take humans farther than ever before with NASA's Artemis program.
Future launches to add new components or deliver cargo will be needed to support the Lunar Gateway. NASA is contracted with SpaceX as the first U.S. commercial provider under the Gateway Logistics Services contract to deliver cargo and other supplies to the Lunar Gateway. NASA currently plans to have one logistics service delivery to the Lunar Gateway for each crewed Artemis mission to the Lunar Gateway. After the Artemis 3 mission, the Lunar Gateway will serve as a way station for Artemis launches to the moon and will provide extensive capability to support NASA's Artemis program as well as future launches to Mars. While NASA's current plans are to have the Gateway in orbit around the moon prior to the Artemis 3 launch date, the Lunar Gateway will not be used for the Artemis 3 mission. The Orion spacecraft will dock directly with SpaceX Lunar Human Landing System that's going to be used to ferry the astronauts to and from the moon. Eliminating the need for the Orion and the SpaceX Human Landing System to dock with the Lunar Gateway will allow the Artemis 3 mission to have a higher probability of success and allow for an earlier landing on the moon. The construction of the Lunar Gateway is being managed by NASA, utilizing international and commercial partnerships. NASA has contracted with SpaceX to develop the Human Landing System, which will be used to shuttle astronauts and equipment to and from the moon. The Human Landing System will be reusable since there's no re-entry through an atmosphere as we have when returning to Earth. The construction of a lunar space station is necessary for NASA to achieve their stated goal of building a sustained. The Lunar Gateway is also a critical component to be used in the missions launching to Mars. In the future, NASA's Gateway partners will provide important contributions needed for the Lunar Gateway space station, including advanced robotics, additional habitation modules, and refueling capabilities. With the Artemis 1 launch scheduled for November 14, 2022, we should soon see way more activity from the Lunar Gateway contractors. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button to receive an email every time Reaching for the Moon posts a new video. Thank you for watching, and remember always, failure is not an option. Bye.